there must be a team of lawyers. I mean, we just played this clip from Alex Jones, and I would imagine Alex Jones is going to end up paying a lot of money, or at the very least, being found liable for millions of dollars for his defamation, in this case in Connecticut. May also be in the case in Texas, although Texas may be a little bit more amenable to him. But what Alex Jones did to these families is really not much different than what Tucker Carlson has done over and over again in his career. And Bill O'Reilly in that same chair did before Tucker Carlson did. Mm-hmm. Do you remember back when there was half a dozen people or a dozen people who were protesting out in front of Tucker Carlson's house, wherever that was? Was that out? Was that in Florida, or where was it? Was it his main house?
I remember the guy in Montana at the store that got in his face.
There was a guy in Montana, but there was also, I don't know if it was in Maine or Florida or his New York house. There was some place where Tucker Carlson, and he was worried about his family.
Oh, yeah. Where he lied and said that they kicked the door down or something.
Yes,
like that.
and in fact, what they were doing is they were just on the street protesting out front. And there was all this concern. Have we gone too far? Like, is it fair to go after his family? They're not, TV people, and here is Tucker Carlson picking up from like where these other transphobes have left off, making money off of generating transphobia, pretending to be concerned about kids while they promote violence against a children's hospital. Here is Tucker Carlson. This is from Thursday. This is from last night on Fox, discussing the gender transitioning care that's offered at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. He is claiming that the medical center is only offering this care for money and are not actually helping children, and that the people who should be held responsible for these abuses are the members of the hospital's board.
Yeah, he saw the bomb threat that was called into Boston's Children's Hospital and said, how do I mainstream that for my national audience?
I mean, fascism really is the socialism of fools. These doctors are doing this for the profit motive. Are you kidding me?
I mean, and let's be clear, this is also the guy who said, teachers are abusing students if they have them wear masks. All the stuff that we're finding out about COVID and reinfection and whatnot.
And then teachers are grooming students if they're gay and speak about it.
I want to make sure that we don't put up the name and the picture of these people, right? Is there a way for us to? All right, let's see. I just want to make sure that we don't. If we do, we'll just block it out afterwards. But here is a segment from the other night.
Those patients.
So again, this is a hospital.
All right, pause it for 1 second. See if you can cross that, shorten that frame so that we can take the frame out. He's showing a picture of one of the doctors. And do we got it? Okay, let's do it.
Physicians and ethicists and other adults who ought to be stepping in to protect children from their worst impulses, from the latest fad, from their parents' neuroses. But they're not doing that because it's just too profitable to destroy the lives of kids. So who should be the backstop against this? Who are the people who oversee this?
Pause it for a second. The millions of dollars that Tucker is getting, and there's no way to disaggregate, what is it that gets people to tune into his show? But he's literally, money is rolling in for him in essentially picturing, and we've tried to crop it out, putting a picture of a doctor up there, and we all know what happens next, right? We all know what happens next. This person has to go underground. They have to change their phone number. They may have to move. This person's life for, I don't know if it's going to be weeks or months, maybe it could be years, is going to be completely devastated. Completely devastated. Because Tucker Carlson has decided that we're going to put this person through the barrel.
But this is good business in politics.
Yep. For money.
Really should be exercising adult wisdom here and restraint. Well, that would be, by definition, the Vanderbilt University Medical Center's Board of Directors. And we're going to name them now in the hope that these people will do something to stop
All
these
right, now we
crimes
should tell you,
before the light.
pause it. He has placed pictures of 6, 10, 11 people with their names up there. And let's be clear, this is not like we're putting up the names of these board of directors because they are exploiting their workers. This is because Tucker does not agree with an accepted medical practice that parents have signed on to, that kids have gone undoubtedly through years of trauma. And again, you don't walk in and get any type of surgery. It takes months, if not years, to get puberty blockers.
Yeah.
And then it takes years to get surgery, except for and I don't even know if it's the case, like the most extreme body dysmorphia cases.
Yeah, I mean, the slide they put before this is they're referencing top surgery, and even that said typically this is to the age of 18, unless it's like basically with parents and doctors, and this is a child who's been transitioned into, say, not male, not wanting breasts, and they're going to have breasts. So if they've been transitioned for like 7 years, top surgery is not actually that crazy.
Yeah, and to say that it's some sort of fad, it's either a fad, right? Like getting a pet rock. That's why you did years and years of hormone therapy, and then in the end ended up getting top or bottom surgery to transition into the gender that you identify as, or it's the derangement of parents. I thought that this guy was all about parental rights and individual rights for how parents want to raise their children. Now it's either a child giving way to a fad, something cool in school, what clothes you want to wear, or it's the parents who have derangement, and we have to protect the parents from their own choices.
That's a really good point, because he says, who's there to protect the kids from the neuroses of their parents? And actually, like people who want to help us teach about the history of racism, or that it's okay to be gay or trans, like those are the people that are trying to protect children from the neuroses of their parents. I
mean, and that's what robust gender and sexual education in schools should in theory be doing, which is providing a wealth of information to protect kids from, say, really religious, bigoted parents who make them hate themselves. And Tucker Carlson's doing this en masse. And like you mentioned, he's stepping into Bill O'Reilly's shoes exactly. How much time until a doctor is murdered by a right-wing terrorist because of what Tucker Carlson is doing here to Tiller the baby killer? He's trying to replicate this with doctors providing trans-affirming care.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. This is, I mean, and we know that he studied Bill O'Reilly. You can go back and look at a C-SPAN interview he gave based upon his book. I think it was in 2000 or so, 1999, 2000, 2001, where he talked about Bill O'Reilly's going to have a reckoning moment, where he plays like the everyman, like he's helping out the average guy. But in fact, at one point, he's just, his whole career is just tenuous. And if they find out that he's been yelling at a stewardess to have, better mimosa sent to him on a flight, it's all over. And what Tucker realized sometime between 2000 and 2015 is that Bill O'Reilly never had that moment of reckoning. Bill O'Reilly was only gone because he had, even after the millions of dollars of payouts, he wasn't gone. It wasn't until like all of Fox had to be cleaned up because it was a sexual harassment factory. And Bill O'Reilly was one of the chief foremen, essentially. And that's how Tucker got his job. But Tucker realized at one point, like, I can do this. And he's basically doing Bill O'Reilly all over again. And this is my Dr. Tiller moment. Let's just play the audio without the pictures.
Lives of more children are destroyed. So the board members would include Edith Carroll.
No, I changed the, and he
God
just
damn it.
literally goes by
Yeah.
and names them all.
Yeah, that's basically it.
I mean, these people's lives are going to be ruined. This is not, this is not just a question of getting protested outside their homes. We already know that one person called in a bomb threat to a hospital in Boston.
Which all these folks, libs of TikTok particularly, couldn't wait a second before jumping on Twitter saying, "Oh, this is probably a false flag done by a leftist to make us look bad."
Of course. Well, if it makes you look bad, you've answered your own question there.